Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. Working our way through dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'm going to interject my financial opinions as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into all of these topics, looking for potential investment opportunities. And I share my journey of what I'm investing in some of my accounts on there. We still have coupon code Mayday that is active. So let's dive in. Let's take a look and see what's going on today. We're going to start with the dollar. And the dollar, we still have a longer term bearish view of the dollar. It's broken to the downside. We've been consolidating here over the past few trading weeks. So here's the consolidation here. So is this going to turn up, or is this going to roll on over and be a continuation pattern? It's kind of difficult because it's not really angled in either direction. I mean, we can kind of do something like this and say, maybe it's a flag pattern that's inverted. But we also have some buying pressure here, which could be a potential double bottom that you put a top on. So I don't want to make the judgment too quick, and I'm going to need yields to kind of determine maybe where the dollar could go in the future. But medium term, it looks weak, and it could go down further, would be my opinion. The 2-year yield dropping 1.83% is what I'm seeing currently, and that does look like it will continue lower. So this failed falling wedge here failed and then just jettisoned lower. So that's going down, and that looks like it will continue to go lower in the short term. We've got the 10-year yield also going about 1.5% lower. That is getting a pullback here, and we are getting the 30-year yield pulling on back. Um, Looks like the Federal Reserve might be in there buying bonds, perhaps, giving us the stimulus needed even more quickly, perhaps. We got the TYX TNX ratio that's continuing to move up. That is a positive sign for gold to continue higher. We're coming from a low level. I think it will continue on up, and that is where I would see the tailwinds is behind gold. So gold's looking pretty good from a tailwind market condition standpoint. Bond prices are continuing up. That's why yields are going down. Bond prices are up. And that does look like it will continue in the short term. We've broken that downtrend here, and we are working our way on up. I don't think this is a long-term bottom. I think we will probably top out somewhere in this range where that is, probably below this resistance level. Breakout, kind of like a retest, wherever it retests, and then a roll on over would be my guess. The 2 and 10, we are uninverting a little bit more today. We are at that one-to-one relationship. The 2-year is 3.604 and the 10-year is 3.644. We've got basically a flattened yield curve. It is uninverting, and we'll see if this continues lower. The momentum is definitely to the downside for this to uninvert, and that generally screams slowdown. We've got gold up $13 as expected. TYX TNX ratio up on inversion of the yield curve, yields down, and the dollar sideways. So it looks pretty good. We've got a little bit of a mash up here, and that's probably getting ready to try to break out and go for another run. Silver up a little bit. Again, this has just been chopping sideways here. And I do think that this is set up very well above a lot of this resistance to take off at any second. So it looks really good. It's well set up. And silver is just looking at the stopwatch saying, hey, when do we get this run going on here? Platinum moving sideways. We are still below that trend line, the pesky trend line that we haven't broken in a long time. And I still expect this to break to the upside with time. We're just waiting for that dollar to continue to drop. Palladium up almost 3%, 2.78% or 2.77. Looking good, feeling good with a good, strong candlestick today. So bouncing off support yesterday. And we'll see if there's any momentum behind this. GDX up a little bit, 1.24. GDXJ up 1.92, and SILJ up. Is this starting to begin a rally here? If gold takes off, I would say yeah, it's probably. And it looks good. We're sitting on top of all these support levels. So GDX looks great. GDXJ just needs to break through its resistance level, and SILJ is a little bit further behind, sitting down here where we've got a little bit more runway when that does break, and that's really silver that needs to start moving. XE to gold ratio up 0.9%. We are still at a very low level, looking absolutely fantastic for a move higher. And I'm still awaiting that move in the gold and silver mining companies here at any point. Crude oil getting smacked in the nutsack. I mean balls. I mean face. Just kidding. Um, Down 3.67%. We do get a little bit of a wick at the bottom here. So could this be bottoming? I hope, but hope doesn't get you anything. Momentum still to the downside. We got to see the buyers come in here. We got to see some wicks on the bottom, get some big green candlesticks. They need to show up if we are going to put on a bottom. So no, I'm not calling for a bottom, but it looks a little bit better. But it's not a great look at this exact moment. It's just looking a teeny bit better. We need to get buyers to come in here and turn this thing around. Natural gas, TTF natural gas, that support. Some big selling pressure, 4.8%. We'll see if that holds. And natural gas in America, putting in a bullish engulfing that looks like it wants to go higher, up 3.27%. So kind of a different outlook versus TTF versus Henry Hub. Now, this is a good thing. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, it's only down 1.1% on a crude oil day that was down 3.6%. So it's holding on to some degree, but it can't totally get murdered every single day with crude just dropping like a rock. So there's a window here. If crude firms up, we want to see this turn. And this could be the end of the pullback. We've got nice little wick at the bottom here. A lot of the times you get a smaller size pullback with all these little days that pulls roughly back to this. Sometimes it pulls a little bit further to the downside than where we were. So it could be. And this could be one of those false slingshots where we could slingshot higher. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. And we'll have to see what crude oil does. But this would be a complete early call for that to occur. I'm not stating that will occur. I'm looking for evidence of it. OIH also a little bit of a wick at the bottom. It's down 2.15% on a 3.6% down day for oil. We've got the midway pattern here, and that's the projected size of this move is something on the lines. It's probably real close, and I'll just kind of throw this here. It's real close to being done. Maybe we have a little bit farther to go. If I were to do it like this and put it on top of this pattern, I mean, it's close. It's close. So we'll see what occurs over the next few trading days and if we can get any more granularity on if this can turn or not. But right now, the momentum is down. It does look ugly. And all we have is a little upside off that bottom there, momentum up. And we have to see the bounce. Newcastle coal futures selling off, but I think we're going to stay above support here, work sideways, and then eventually work up when natural gas wants to move. We've got Sprout Physical Uranium Trust up 1.5% towards the bottom end of support, and it's still looking okay. It's just slowly leaking downward above support. Uranium futures price moving sideways. Nothing really to report here, but that's good. It's not going down. I know you uranium investors are very sensitive. I've seen a lot of Twitter posts on there. URA up 2.16%, pretty good start. I said this could be a potential bottom. We got to see some green candlesticks. They're showing up. Does this mean that we've bottomed? Maybe. We got to see continued strength. It's always 2020 looking backwards, and if you're trying to buy bottoms, that's where it becomes difficult. You got to take a leap of faith to buy a bottom on a wick or something like that is all you get. But right now, we got to see more buying pressure to continue on up. URANIUM, it looks good. You know, it could be a double bottom, but we got to see buying pressure to continue to move that up. And then, what's the point of technical analysis if you can't buy it at the exact bottom? Well, you're looking for trends. You're looking to see if trends can change. You generally get another bottom. You get a move up like this in a lot of the charts, and then you can work your way on up here. If you're aggressive, that's where the strategies have to come in play of how to buy some of this stuff. And URJ up 4.4%, and this could be one of those double bottoms that we are getting. It's a slightly lower move. There's certain bottom patterns that you can look at to look at for some of this stuff, but I wouldn't say we're bottom yet. We got to get more follow through. Copper down a little bit today, but it does look like it's trying to, put in a higher low. So we'll see if we can put in a higher high here if we break 4.25, $4.25. COPX down a little bit. It's holding on. It's squeezing up a little bit. Support. And then a little bit of resistance, and we're coming to this corner here. We've got iron ore up just a teeny bit. Momentum is still to the downside, but it's trying to work it off, and we'll see if we can get a big bullish engulfing where it'll get me a little bit more bullish over here. Aluminum, still downside momentum. Downside momentum still. We've got nickel downside momentum still, down 0.4%. Still some downside momentum to work its way out. Moo down 1.3, but I like this setup, guys. We've broken out. We've got support underneath us, going across that way and this way. And we've got a little wick at the bottom, and we'll see if we can get any sort of bounce here. Emerging markets, we had solid dollar, weaker yields, but down 0.38% with a little bit of a bounce with the wick at the bottom. Looks okay. We're still above support. KRE down 0.8 something percent. This looks good to go up. That's a reversal candlestick, a hammer candlestick. Well, it's not up. It's still down, but at least the momentum's coming up, and we'll see if it gets moving. It's not a hammer candlestick. It needs to be a green one, but we've got a nice, good lift off the bottom of that candlestick, good wick. TAN still working its way lower. We've got lithium down a little bit, and we gotta get some sort of bounce here, guys. Lithium is still looking pretty ugly, and REMX, which is the rare earth, still looking ugly, making a new low. Your new low is here. And there's no big green candlesticks to see here. So this is looking pretty ugly for trading. Baltic Dry Index up 0.88%, looking good. Hopefully continues higher. Looking good. We've got XHB up a little bit. I know some people think we're in a big housing market crash, and this could be a double top, blah, blah, blah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out here. Overall, the momentum's to the upside in the longer term. No broken downtrends or uptrend lines or anything like that. We've got Russell 2000 down slightly. Momentum still to the downside, and we're below some resistance. We've got the S&P 500 up a little bit, but the downside, it's still downside momentum. These are not reversal candlesticks. So we could fall further in the future. NASDAQ also, not reversal candlesticks, could fall further in the future. Could see some more selling pressure. You usually see the stair-step pattern like that as it falls. SMCI up a little bit, but still looks like total garbage. I wouldn't touch it with your own money. Then we've got NVIDIA up 1.5%. Diving in there. Still looks bearish to me. If we back out, still looks like downside momentum, only small upside, little moves. I think we are still heading a little bit lower there. Or consolidating sideways at the best. BTC up a little bit, 1.3%. That's a tough one. Buyers and sellers are basically battling it out right here. So probably more sideways action. The reason I'm saying that is we got a pretty good drop here, and then we're struggling to get up. It's not. This is a pretty equal move on this side and this side, so it could go either direction. Either direction here, more consolidation is what we're seeing. Buyers and the sellers battling. Ethereum up just a little bit. That still looks like we could move sideways or slightly lower as we've got stronger selling pressure. Just a weak upside move. Could be a flag pattern-ish. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Mayday coupon code. Go ahead and use that. We've got a midweek update coming up tomorrow. I'll give you my opinions there. And we've got a question and answer session would be on Saturday, 7 a.m. Would be the next one. That's all I've got, guys. So we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.